welcome to Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Rob Jarrell.
And today we're going to preview this Saturday's UFC 202, which features a welterweight rematch between Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. And then we also have Glover Teixeira versus Anthony Rumble Johnson in a light heavyweight fight, which has fireworks written all over it. Let's start with that one. Take it away, Rob.
Someone's getting knocked out.
Yes. In this fight, we got two of the heaviest hands in the division in Teixeira and Johnson. Definitely with Johnson, because he has mollywopped many a contender. And then in Teixeira, he was on a long winning fight streak as well, knocking out a lot of competitors until he met Rampage, which he lost to Rampage. But then he went back on the tear again, and he recently has had some very good wins. He also lost to John Jones after he got in the title shot.
Right.
Once again, racking up some wins. So he's getting back into title contention. I think whoever wins this fight will probably end up fighting Cormier for the belt.
And if I'm not mistaken, Johnson already fought Cormier.
Yes, he did.
And he's going to want revenge.
Right. In that fight, he did do pretty well. He landed those big bombs like he usually does. Hurt Cormier. Cormier was able to weather the storm, tire him out, and then finish him later on. Now in Teixeira, he has someone that's similar, whereas Teixeira has a very underrated ground game. I believe he does have a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
He does.
But he is known for that stand-up. He's known for his boxing ability and his ability to knock people out. Now, Johnson is a wrestler who, like we said, is known to knock people slam out.
And remember, he's moved up from 170 all the way up to heavyweight, where he started housing people at heavyweight.
Yeah. Then went back down to 205.
Look, because he was a little on the chunky side of heavyweight. Got his fitness together. Looked great, and I meant just like stacked at 205, and that's where he just went on a tear.
Yeah. So this one, it's really who can take whose shot the best. Both guys have shown a very decent chin, so we may see them both rocked a couple times before someone's actually able to get a finish. And I think if it goes to the ground, it'll probably be Teixeira trying to go to the ground first. Even though neither guy really tries to implement their ground game much at all, it's more so as a defensive measure to stop people from taking them down and things of that nature. But I think if they do try to go down, I think Teixeira will try to take Johnson down to try and wear him out, because he has known to gas like he did in the Cormier fight. So that may be part of his strategy, to take him down, get him in a few positions to tire him out, just let those guys wrestle on the ground, and then let him get back up, and then he knocks him out. For Johnson, he's probably just going to be like, I'm going to land hard, and you're going down.
Yeah, and the thing about Johnson, Teixeira is going to be more measured. Johnson I think he's going to have the strength advantage, but he's also really explosive, because once he starts coming forward, he's going to be looking to land often.
Yes.
And he's been known to just rush. And if Teixeira can't handle that, he's going to get knocked out. But if you kind of weather the storm and just find a way to get Johnson on the ground, it's going to happen. But I've also seen Johnson shrug off people who try to do takedowns.
Yeah, I think he almost blanked Phil Davis in the takedown department, who's a very good wrestler. So, but he was not able to stop Daniel Cormier. But he is an excellent wrestler.
Yeah, he's world-class wrestler.
Right. There is a difference. But so for this one, just don't blink. I really can't tell you who's going to win, but this is not the fight that you want to go re-up your beer or go to the bathroom, because this is going to be fireworks. Let's move on to the main event. Now, this fight is pretty much a showcase fight for one of the UFC's golden boys, and it's Bad Boy, and the bad boy is Diaz. The poster boy is McGregor. In their first fight, which was made on short notice, McGregor was training to fight Rafael dos Anjos at 155. He got injured. Nate Diaz steps in, who is a lightweight. He normally fights at 155, but they called him on less than 2 weeks' notice, so they went ahead and did a 170-pound catch weight, well, which is actually the welterweight limit. And in that fight, McGregor did look pretty good. He was very accurate. He bloodied Diaz. He was landing pretty much at will. And even though Diaz was bloody, he really didn't look like he was fazed by any of it. He was like, whatever. Eventually you're going to mess up, and I'm going to hurt you. And that's exactly what happened. Conor starts getting tired. Those counter punches of Nate Diaz started feeling heavier and heavier. McGregor goes for an ill-advised takedown against a jiu-jitsu black belt. And the next thing you know, he's tapping. It was very swift. He got takedown stuff. He got mounted. He got punched in the face a few times. Flipped on his belly. Choked out.
Now this fight is at
170 again.
It's going to be a 170. I've seen pictures of both of them training and where they were their weight. They both look great.
Yes.
Diaz is looking nice and cut up. He's looking a little bit bigger. Conor McGregor also looks fairly big. He did have to eat his way up to 170 like he did in the last fight. Because if you could tell, he looked a little bit soft for him. So he's looking big. He's looking strong. Diaz is looking big. The only thing, Diaz is kind of that guy that has a motor that doesn't stop. Right. Especially in the hands department.
Yeah, he has some top-notch hands for MMA, and him and his brother Nick have often sparred boxing champion Andre Ward, and he has said himself, who is one of the best boxers in the world, that these guys have serious hands. So that is a huge compliment, and we've already seen it from, like, I think Diaz has fought in the UFC for like 10 years now.
Yeah.
And I remember watching one of his first fights, and I was like, I like this guy. Because he throws hands, he doesn't care, he will slap you in the face and curse you out all at the same time. Even when he's losing, he doesn't care.
But his cardio, his endurance is probably one of the best in the UFC. And for Conor McGregor to win, he's got to use that explosiveness, that power, to kind of beat Diaz to the punch.
Right, excuse me. Which he showed that he was able to do in the first fight.
Yeah, but now he's bringing, or he should be bringing more power to the match in this fight because he's actually training for 170 to make it safely with the strength and the power to knock out a Diaz. Diaz kind of has to weather the storm for, I would say, 2 rounds, and just kind of wear him and counterpunch. Now, I think he'll be able to lead at points just with that jab.
Yeah. He didn't use it a lot in the first fight. I think he was just kind of seeing what McGregor had. But this time, knowing that, McGregor is training for him, he'll probably take this match a little bit more seriously as well. I think it was more so a personal thing that he took the fight originally, because I know he called him out, but that was for 155 for stealing his whole shtick. And basically, trying to use that bad boy image that he has used for his entire career that we've known him. But now that he knows what McGregor has, personally, I really do think that's bad for McGregor, because now Diaz knows what he's coming with, and he can prepare for that. When he had just gotten off the couch, he was still able to best him. So I think he has a mental edge as well as the physical edge, and I think he pulls it out again.
And I think McGregor's going to definitely try to show out, just because of what happened in the last fight, and trying to live up to that image he's created for himself,
right,
as the best in the world. But again, with Diaz, I just see him, for him, it's going to be that timing because if you know Conor McGregor, he's always on his toes, kind of moving in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
And then once he tries to explode in, to time him with a counter jab or even slap him around a little bit.
Right. So yeah, I think because in the original fight, I did pick McGregor to win because I was like, Diaz is just like come off the couch, like he can't just go in there with somebody that's been training and win. Mm-hmm. Prove me wrong. So now that he's actually training and he is a fighter, I don't think it goes well for McGregor. I think it actually looks like the exact same fight we got the first time. Maybe Diaz doesn't get cut up this time, but McGregor will be the faster fighter. But I still don't think he'll hit Diaz with anything that's going to really trouble him. And McGregor says he's going to be more measured this time because of, having to carry that bigger weight. But I still don't think that's going to matter. Like, he's only had one real fight at this weight, which is this one. And the other one, he had just, probably scale back his training or his weight cut a little bit to, take on Diaz. So I'm taking Diaz this time in 3 rounds instead of 2. So we'll have to see what happens on Saturday. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like it. If you have not done so yet, hit subscribe, especially for all the MMA fans, because we got a lot more MMA stuff coming up down the pipe. You can hit us up on any of our social networks down in the link below in the credits. You can see them as well. And we'll see you guys in the recap. Peace.
This is round 1 and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and gone. My fists are on fire, I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage, keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane, I told them I don't play, I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.